The city of Philadelphia is a place full of rich culture, resilience, pride, and history, but it is also a city that, for decades, has struggled beneath the weight of persistent gun violence. Neighborhoods filled with love, families, and laughter still find themselves living the shadow of fear, sirens becoming as familiar as church bells, and memorial posters taped to light poles becoming heartbreaking landmarks of lives cut too short. But some tragedies stand out. Some crimes shake families to their core. Some leave questions that linger. Questions of why, how, and how could someone do something like this? In March of 1999, one of those tragedies took place. It was the story of Nati T. Johnson, a 21-year-old woman who was days away from bringing new life into the world. A young woman full of dreams, loved deeply by her family, excited about motherhood, and preparing to start a new chapter. But instead of celebrating the arrival of a baby girl, her family would be forced to make funeral arrangements for both mother and child. This is the story of Nati Johnson, her unborn daughter, and the senseless act of violence that shattered a family and stunned a city. Nati was born and raised in West Philadelphia. She was the youngest of her siblings, the one everyone protected, the one everyone loved to tease and look out for. Her family called her T, and the nickname stuck because she was just that familiar, just that loved, just that warm. Growing up, T was known for her kind heart. She was the girl who diffused arguments, who brought laughter into heavy rooms, who tried to solve problems rather than create them. Her family described her as a peacemaker, always trying to keep harmony between siblings, cousins, or friends. She had big dreams, too. She once said she wanted to become a lawyer, specifically because she wanted to help people who have been abused. Even as a child, she understood injustice, and she wanted to be someone who fought against it. She loved dressing up, going to King of Prussia Mall with her friends, and taking pride in her appearance. She was stylish, always put together, always smiling, always glowing with that youthful energy that made people gravitate toward her. As she entered adulthood, love found her. A few years after high school, T met a young man named Terry. He was kind, well-spoken, calm, and ambitious. He joined the Navy, and though the two found themselves in a long-distance relationship, they talked constantly. Calls, letters, visits whenever they could. This was young love that didn't fade with distance. T felt safe with him. She felt chosen. She felt loved. So when she became pregnant, she was excited. The baby, a girl, was due in late March. T had already picked out potential names, and her family had thrown her a baby shower. The small house she shared with her father, Howard, was already filled with diapers, tiny clothes, baby blankets, a crib, and stuffed animals. Everyone was ready. Everyone was waiting. Everyone was happy. Her father, especially, adored T. She was a daddy's girl her entire life. When she moved out for a while after high school, he missed her so much that when she moved back in, it felt like everything in the home was restored. They cooked together, watched movies together, laughed together. This was supposed to be a joyful season. Their family was waiting on a new life, not preparing to lose one. March 27, 1999. T was 3 days overdue. Her baby was expected at any moment. That morning, she spoke to her sister Crystal on the phone, like she usually did. Those two talked constantly, sometimes 5, 6, 7 times a day. Crystal later said nothing in that phone call felt strange. T was comfortable, relaxed, and just waiting for labor to start. But that call would end up being the last time anyone in her family spoke to her alive. Her boyfriend, Terry, was driving up from Virginia that day, excited, nervous, and ready to be by her side when the contractions began. But by the time he arrived, everything had already gone terribly, irreversibly wrong. Around 7:30 p.m., T's father, Howard, returned home from work. He was tired, probably expecting to see T resting, maybe watching TV or napping. The house was unusually quiet. The lights were off. He called her name, but she didn't answer. Then he stepped into the kitchen, and his entire world shattered. There on the floor, covered in blood, was his daughter. Howard froze. His mind couldn't process what his eyes were seeing. For a moment, he didn't understand. Maybe she fell. Maybe she fainted. Maybe something else happened. But there was too much blood. He called Crystal, screaming, begging her to come. Crystal ran down the street, and when she entered the kitchen, her heart broke too. T was gone. Paramedics arrived quickly, but there was nothing they could do. T had been shot multiple times. The unborn baby survived briefly, but passed away shortly after due to lack of oxygen. In just a matter of minutes, a family that had been preparing to welcome life was instead forced to experience unimaginable loss. Detectives immediately began piecing together clues. There were no signs of forced entry. No broken doors, no shattered windows, no ransacked rooms. This meant one thing. T likely knew her killer, and she either let them inside willingly, or they were already familiar enough to walk in without suspicion. Police first turned to Thierry, the father of her baby. In many domestic violence cases, intimate partners are often responsible, especially in emotional or stressful situations like pregnancy. But Thierry was quickly ruled out. His military base confirmed his whereabouts. Phone records proved his calls. Witnesses verified he was nowhere near Philadelphia when the murder occurred. He was devastated when he learned what had happened. Police then questioned T's ex-boyfriend, someone she had ended things with after what her family described as controlling and aggressive behavior. He had a history of arguments with her, and at one point, T had even filed for a restraining order, though she didn't follow through with it. But he had a verified alibi. He was at work at the Philadelphia International Airport the entire day and evening, confirmed by time logs and co-workers. Next, investigators questioned a third man, someone T had briefly dated in the short period between her breakup and her relationship with Thierry. He claimed he believed the baby might be his, but again his alibi checked out. 3 possible suspects. 3 alibis. The investigation stalled until phone records finally came in. Phone logs revealed that T spoke to someone for nearly an hour on the day of her murder. That person was someone police had not questioned yet, her best friend. When detectives sat down with her, she described their phone call. She said T sounded normal, relaxed, patient, just waiting for the baby. But then she said something else. She said T mentioned she had been stressed lately. Not because of her pregnancy, not because of Thierry, and not because of any ex-boyfriend. The stress came from someone else. Someone T had known for years. Someone who had recently become aggressive. His name was Kareem Sampson. Kareem was an ex-boyfriend. He wasn't someone T was romantically involved with. He was someone she had grown up around, a childhood friend. But recently, Kareem's life had spiraled into conflict and violence. He had been in a relationship with a young woman who eventually left him. Not because she wanted to, but because she was trying to escape abuse. And here is where everything intersects. The woman who left Kareem, she left with T's help. And after leaving Kareem, she began dating T's brother, which meant Kareem believed T was the reason his ex was gone. He believed T was hiding her. He believed T was protecting her. He believed T was keeping his child away from him. And Kareem wanted information. He demanded to know where his ex and baby were. He confronted T multiple times. He called, pressured, threatened, and insisted. But T refused to betray someone who needed help. She refused every time. And Kareem did not handle rejection well. Based on witness statements, phone evidence, and later testimony, detectives pieced together what happened. Around 12 p.m. that day, while T was at home, Kareem showed up. T was comfortable enough to open the door, because remember, this was someone she knew, someone from her past, someone she likely didn't see as immediately dangerous. But when the conversation didn't go the way he wanted, when she once again refused to give him the information he wanted, the situation escalated. Kareem pulled out a gun. He shot T in the back as she turned away. Then, while she was on the floor, he shot her 3 more times in the head. This was not panic. This was rage. This was punishment. He left her there. He walked out. He left her unborn daughter to die with her. And he went on with his day, as if nothing had happened. Once Kareem was identified, the case came together quickly. Ballistics linked him to the weapon. Phone records placed him in the vicinity. Witnesses confirmed seeing him near the home. T's best friend confirmed the conflict. Kareem was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. 1 count for Nati. 1 count for her unborn daughter. He was convicted. He received 2 life sentences. He will never walk free again. The Johnson family was forced to do something no family should ever experience. They buried a mother and her baby in the same casket. Terry never got to hold his daughter. Howard never recovered from what he saw in that kitchen. Crystal lost her sister and her daily companion forever. But through heartbreak, one truth remained. T died protecting another woman from abuse. She died because she refused to betray someone who needed her. She died because she chose loyalty. She chose empathy. She chose to stand on the side of what was right. And someone with no heart took her life for it. Nati T. Johnson was 21 years old. She was days away from motherhood. She deserved to see her baby smile, to hear her cry, to raise her, to love her. Instead, her life was stolen because someone believed control was worth more than life. May her memory never be forgotten.